Welcome back to the Shacknews Awards. We are here to talk about a very important award for our website. We take fighting games super seriously here at Shacknews. And sometimes we get it wrong, sometimes we get it right with our debates, but damn it, we're here to debate again. And let's get into it. I'm going to read off our nominees, and then people can wax poetic about them. Our first nominee is Tekken 8. Followed by Multiversus, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Rivals of Aether 2, and Undernight In Birth 2 Sis Celis, which is still one of the harder game titles to pronounce.
It's a mouthful.
It's a lot of words. I believe they like to call it
Uni 2.
Yeah, Uni 2 is the hashtag for that. So yeah, some of these have been featured at EVO, some of them weren't this year, but they're all fighting games. They're obviously different fighting games. Some are platform fighters, some are more traditional 3D fighters like Tekken. And then, you have the Smash-like, that is Rivals 2. Yeah, let's get into it. How great is Tekken 8, TJ?
Freaking amazing. Like setting a new standard for a long-running series. This was the year that they rebuilt the game in Unreal Engine 5, and this might be the best selling point for Unreal Engine 5 so far. Like, clearly, the Tekken team has a very solid vision of what they want out of their universe, and they accomplished it so dang well in this game. The visuals are amazing. The characters look amazing. The stages look amazing. The stage transitions where you break someone through a wall or a floor look amazing. And then you have awesome music on top of that, awesome visual effects, and a really, really, really good suite of like training options, single player modes, multiplayer modes. The only one thing that I can think of that I don't like about Tekken 8 is like, I don't know so hard about like standardized online lobbies or private rooms for we're throwing down with your homies. That's the one thing that like I feel it doesn't do as well as like Street Fighter 6 or even Guilty Gear, but that's like the one thing it doesn't do.
I think we said it last year, like the Battle Hub is so good that I think it should just be the best practice going forward for fighting games. Like they nailed it. Like Street Fighter nailed it with that. Danny, look like you wanted to chime in a little bit here.
Oh, well, I mean, yes, I feel like Tekken 8, like TJ said, is setting the standard for the franchise, and it's definitely heading in the right direction in such a way that, hey, it looks amazing. It's amazing to watch, play.
Yeah.
And also, like, there's a level of complexity to it, too, that hits a sweet spot for me.
I think a lot of the new characters hit, too. Like, they're solid. Like, the reveal trailers were exciting, and they're still fun to play. And then Harada got clapped at EVO in one of those exhibition matches, and he's like, screw this, I'm putting Heihachi back in the game.
And then he did.
But, exactly.
A funny story. I was actually looking at a conversation on social media this last week. People were talking about like how Nina used to be like the face, the leading lady of Tekken. And now there's a large contingent of people that are like, nah, it's Reina now. Everybody loves Reina now. And that's fun. That this many games into this series, people are like arguing about character loyalty and who's the best one. And I think Reina is a great character. I think you're right. I think all the new characters that have shown up so far are really fun characters.
Like they may all not dominate the meta or whatever, but like they're fun to play and they're cool, and it's been a diverse lineup. And Harada is constantly trolling the community. The one thing that they could do is put Waffle House in this game, and they haven't done it yet. And Waffle House, if you're out there watching with Doug Bowser, please make it happen.
I feel
Work
like
with him.
if you were tossing in Waffle House, you'd have to have it be like a guest character stage or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Gotta pair it with the right character to join in on that one.
Man. Now that's got me thinking what kind of character we would need to have a Waffle House appear in this game. Either way, I don't know. Goku. Doesn't Goku fight at Waffle House all the time? Anyway, sorry. Great nomination. One of the darlings of Evo, right? Second, it wasn't the main event this year, but I think in the last 2 years, the last 3 years even, it's been like the second to last tournament, or the last top 8 or top 6, and it's still some of the loudest pops you'll hear at any esport event.
Tekken is going strong for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's still in its early days when it comes to people figuring out the meta. And yeah, the Pakistani Tekken scene continues to grow. I think that's one of the most interesting stories in esports. A game that's not an interesting story in esports is Multiverses. I don't know who wants to talk about. I can talk about it a little bit.
I can talk about
Okay.
Multiverses. I like this game. I think that it launched in a bit of a disappointing state to people because I know that there were concerns about like the movement system and the way the game felt during its very infamous beta that ended and was gone for over a year. But I think that in just those first, like, I think they're on season 3 at this point, they've righted the ship. I thought that the movement updates in season 3 were good. I think that they still nail the roster very well. I think that all the characters are authentically themselves. I love that they go out and find the voice actors where they can. There's some exceptions, but they go out and find the voice actors
James
for most of these characters. That's one of the exceptions.
That's not
one of the
LeBron
exceptions.
James' voice. That's just some dude.
That's fine. LeBron can't act anyway, so that's okay. But
If you're gonna put LeBron from Space Jam in the game, at least make it LeBron from Space Jam terrible.
He's a tough guy to nail down. That's also true. That guy does give a good LeBron performance. But I like that aspect of it. I know I dig it. It's a good platform fighter to have on PC. I know Rivals has come out and is now actually contending with it in that space, but that market is just so barren for so long. Where it was like Brawlhalla, which is good, but it had been out for many years. And it had done its updates and collabs and stuff, but it was kind of a one game show for a while there. And I like Multiverses. I think it's.
I want to say like from the presentation standpoint, you kind of mentioned Donovan. Like I think my backup recording just stopped recording. Greg,
you're fine.
Okay, but yeah, like I like being able to select a voice actor to be like the voice of my menu selection. So it's like you have like Batman announcing that you picked Bugs Bunny, but it's in like the Batman voice, David. And that's Kevin Conroy. So it's even like cooler. But yeah, like having Bugs Bunny announce your fight, like your matchup and stuff, or what character. I do like the little things they've done. But it's just important to note that this is a WB Games published game, and because of that, it was kind of rushed out the door. Maybe this is a game that next year we'll be talking about in like a category like most improved or best comeback. I want that to be the case. I'm not cheering against it, but I bounced off of this game very quickly when it came out. And I didn't. Really
I do hope that they continue to add to like the single, because they added a single player component to 1.0, and I kind of appreciate that they added a little story with the Joker getting together a random ass band of WB villains like Agent Smith from the Matrix and Beetlejuice, and it's like, okay, sure, I'm in for wacky stories. I'm all about this.
Yeah.
Get down with it. Let's see LeBron become a villain after catching a stray from Donovan. I'd like to see that next year. It's a plot line.
Speaking of villains and anti-heroes, the next nominee, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. This is like an evolution of the Budokai Tenkaichi series, right?
I can play it. I can talk to you a little bit.
Yeah, you can talk about it, Greg. I know you're a rather large Dragon Ball fan and a fan of Dragon Ball games. This is a good one, right?
I mean, it's a good game. I mean, that's the thing. It has a huge roster, has a lot of levels. I mean, you can download, you can buy like a music license if you want like the Japanese music in it, I guess. So like, there's a bunch of things you can do in it, and just a huge cast of characters. The only thing negative about it is that people were expecting it to be balanced like fighters, even though everyone at Bandai was like, this is not fighters, this is not a balanced experience, this is not a Marvel's Capcom situation where, like, and people got so mad that like everyone was playing Super Saiyan level 4 Goku and like 2 other people. And I read this weekend there was some kind of tournament where both the players played androids and just dodged the whole time because they don't use energy when they dodge.
A Bandai sanctioned tournament, no less.
Yeah, and I was like, oh wow, that must have been terrible to
yes.
watch. But it's not. But that's not what the game was meant for, right? It's not a competitive fighter. You can treat anything competitively, but it's not made that way. It's a super fun game. Like, it's super. If you love Dragon Ball, like I kicked my nephew's ass in it like 10 times. He didn't want to play it anymore because he just wanted to smash buttons. But I mean, it's a great looking game. It's a beautiful game. It's a Dragon Ball Z
Isn't it all
fans.
about smash buttons, though?
Not really. It's actually quite a complicated game for a casual game, for a casual fighting game. But yeah, I mean, it's a good game. It's definitely a good game. It's a very enjoyable game. But if you're one of those people who like go hard in Tekken or hard in Street Fighter or hard in Marvel, like you're not gonna like it because it is unbalanced. It's super unbalanced.
You're flying around open world. I mean,
yeah, one of the characters has an unblockable super. Just like if he sends it out, you can't do anything. You're just gonna get hit. Like there's nothing you can do. So, and that makes it a little less, but it's definitely worth the nomination. It's still a fun game to play, especially if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan.
The thing I liked the most about it, Greg, was that it has a massive roster, but you didn't have to do anything to unlock. It's just there. There's
a little bit of unlocking, but not a ton. A little bit.
It's not put behind a money.
No,
barrier.
There's no money wall. Well, there is a season pass, I think, right? They added some characters, I believe, but
that's just for cosmetics. That's not.
Yeah.
I don't think it's for downloading characters, and for a game with that many characters to not monetize the characters, I think is like a good decision for the community. But to your point, the meta is so messed up because of that.
It definitely gets to the vibe where it feels like you're getting like the ultimate version of those kind of games where you've got all of the characters you could possibly want in one place to be able to touch on. And I like that.
And most importantly, it's fun to play.
Yeah.
Which, man, if you make an unfun Dragon Ball game, I will bounce off of it very quickly. But if you make it fun to watch and fun to play, this is what they did with Sparking Zero. It's not an esport. It was never meant to be. It was never meant to be.
They were very clear about it. Very clear, but people just don't listen.
It's a game that looks fun to play, but not necessarily fun to watch.
I think it'd be fun to watch if like two people are not betting.
Yeah, if you depending on the matchup, Ozzy, I think it can be fun to watch. But to your point, like the meta, if you watch like the actual meta play out, it's not that fun right now. But like I think for the average player who's just playing it for fun or wants that single player experience that you mentioned, Greg, like it's not bad.
It's a game you can play with your friends online or couch co-op, right? One-on-one, even though it's a little limited. You can do one-on-one, but like it's a Dragon Ball love letter. So it's meant to be played for fun. It's meant to be taken like a party game where you just take your favorite characters and fight them out. But like at the same time, to everyone's point, like in Marvel 2, there also is like once the meta settles, like all you see is your Magnetos and Dooms and whatever, and like nothing else. And that is lame. But that happens in competitive games, fighting games all the time. Oh look, another virtual Doom player. Like
it happens in these games that are not meant to be esports more often than not. And like, it just reminds me of Wii U Smash 4, where that meta devolved to Diddy Kong and Bayonetta, right? And
yes.
It's just a matter of time before professional players figure that stuff out. But like when you take a party game and you put it under the microscope of an esport, it's not really fair. But anyway, our next nominee, who wants to talk about Rivals of Aether 2?
Rivals of Aether 2 is something that, we've seen Smash esports fall off a lot over the last few years. And I appreciate that something like Rivals of Aether 2 is something that's wants to tap into the spirit of Melee and also add its own spin to it, whether it's the new characters or the art style or adding cool little touches like ledge moves and the wake up moves and all that stuff. So I haven't played too much of it. The little I have played, I've enjoyed it. And I think it's a worthy nominee. And I hope it continues to grow because we need a good Smash competitor, especially as Smash Ultimate kind of, starts to become starts to kind of fade from people's consciousness a little bit.
Yeah. That's wild though. Smash fading from the consciousness.
I'm completely tapped out on Smash Esports, dude.
Oh, same. I agree with that. The
meta
A
is
lot of that
settled.
is
Again,
Nintendo
meta is
management.
settled. Done. There's no updates. It's done.
I'll just say that COVID really hurt Smash Esports more than most other places in the scene. And I don't mean that like no one else had to deal with those problems. I just mean like the cycle of hype around that game was kind of peaking in 2019, 2020, and then it got derailed because all of those events got canceled. And I think you saw the
Nintendo
evolution.
Japan didn't help either.
No, not at all. And you saw what happened with Coinbox, right? And like, you know, Smash Esports is in a bad place right now. It's important to note that like this is the first game being published by Ludwig's, was it
Off-brand games.
Yeah, off-brand games.
Off-brand games. Should be an easy one to roll off the tongue.
Yeah, sorry. I think Ludwig and I think Pirate Software, Thor are both running that. I think Thor's like CTO and Ludwig is CEO.
This also felt similar to Melee in terms of like the grassroots marketing of it. They didn't send this out to press or people like us. They sent this out to people who play these types of games. And I think that word of mouth really helped it a lot.
Yeah, it's the same thing that Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl did, Ozzy, and that didn't work. So it doesn't always work out great.
Yeah, not so much.
But I thought it was weird that they like the first tournament they did for Rivals, it also was a Smash Invitational. So like it's like, hey, come compete in Rivals, but also play Ultimate and Melee here. Because I have a feeling you're not going to get
the crowd they're trying to reach.
You're not going to get Smashers to show up without Smash, is my point. Even with a brand new game like this, even with a prize pool. So I think that's the other side I'll say. It's like everyone wants to make a Smash replacement.
I feel like Multiverses found that out last year.
Yeah.
Even Multiverses has like like when I'm playing a match, like that thing closes like 20 times. It's so not flowy when you have to keep having sub menus like cut off the screen or go to a static menu to load for like 2 seconds. It's very cut offy. I hate that about that game.
Rivals is more flowy. I appreciate that about it.
Yeah. Let's see. What do we got? One more? Under Night in Birth 2, Uni 2. TJ, can you explain to the folks at home what this is?
This is a anime fighter in the range of games like Blaze Blue, and then Guilty Gear before Xrd. Studio French Bread is one of the few people that are doing it like this anymore. Like hand-drawn sprites, hand-drawn animation, and it's still on like a 3D plane kind of where it's like 2.5D. But their art and their characters are so dang clean, and the fighting game itself ends up looking like a ballet dance of activity as a result. Like, I don't really know of any fighting game developer anymore that puts this much attention to detail into like the smoothness and crispness of just the overall action. I think they do an amazing job with what they do, and it would be completely unfair to not bring them up in this conversation when they're one of the few that like do a traditional style of fighting game anymore.
Mm-hmm.
As a question,
and they're
TJ.
still featured at EVO frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's got a scene, and it's got a esports scene around it, and it's quite fun to watch. It actually
was invited
is.
to EVO.
Yeah, it's but like the most important thing for me when because I'm a casual in this space, but I'm a viewer of the esport. Like, is it fun to watch? Yes, it is, and it's also fun to watch live, TJ. So I don't know if you were like on the show floor during any of the Uni 2 stuff, but the crowd gets very hyped for this game still, or this franchise. And yeah, it's evolved. And they're still releasing new characters and stuff for it. They're still supporting it. It just came out, like early last year? Right?
No, this game came out this year. It was
they
like
announced it. Like, it was one of those, like, it's
you know what the most unfortunate thing they did was they released this game literally right next to Tekken 8.
That's what happened. Okay. Sorry, that's why I kind of skipped my mind. I thought it was last year. Yeah. This was released, early this year. I feel like we've been talking about it for at least 3 years or 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Trailers, stuff like that. Anyway, what do you say? Should we vote? Ozzy, no coins.
No coins.
If I'm not allowed a coin,
Okay.
Ozzy can't have a coin.
No. I'm just bringing it up because of this category. No coins.
We have good nominees, but I don't think anything's beating Tekken 8 this year. So I'm going Tekken.
Okay, I'm going to start with Ozzy's vote for Tekken. Okay. Good ass Tekken. Okay. Bill.
Vote for TJ Denzer, also known as Tekken 8.
Tekken It to the Lab. Tekken It to the Lab has been a great series on our Twitch channel.
Yeah.
Watching TJ lab out different characters when they drop, or just having fun beating the crap out of people with Kuma. It's always a good time. Sam.
Tekken 8.
Nice. Steve.
I've got my coin right here. Not
How
Tekken 8.
dare you? How
8.
dare you, sir? Are any of these games on Switch?
MK1 is.
How dare you?
Right.
Yeah, I'm not even going there again.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, David.
Tekken 8.
Donovan.
Tekken 8.
Danny.
Get ready for the next battle because Tekken 8 is taking this one.
No challenger. I love that music that plays in all those trailers too, man. I just love so much about this. Greg.
Oh man. Yeah, Tekken 8.
TJ.
Tekken 8.
Tekken 8.
And I will make this unanimous. Tekken 8. I am voting for Tekken 8, which is a delightful game built in the UE5 engine. Bandai Namco kind of crushing it on the esports side of things with Tekken World Tour as well. It's been cool to see this explode all over the world. It is kind of a global game if you look at the characters in it. So it's nice to see it explode on like the global esports scene too. Shout out to everyone who's out there labbing it. And yeah, like I said, check out the VODs of TJ playing it over at Taking It to the Lab. And yeah, awesome. Well, it's unanimous. Wow. No coins needed
second
here.
pizza party today.
Yeah, pizza.
There are no
W's.
pizza parties for this, Greg. Stop trying to inject pizza parties into this, Greg. This is nothing. We are not incentivizing.
Nobody missed though.
No pizza,
Everybody selected the right game. Nobody missed.
no pizza for vote. No pizza for vote.
There's no right game when it comes to
You're going to ruin the
game's the right
integrity
game.
of these awards, sir.
Wow.
This is a
Overruled.
serious award show. No one paid me 6 figures to announce this. But Tekken 8 is the best fighting game of the year 2024 at Shacknews.